think that you're already in civil services. Imagine positively that you visualize yourself as a DM, as a collector, as an SP, as a DCP. Imagine yourself, and then go back in time. And then if you are going to the interview today, how are you going to answer to achieve that goal? So positive visualization and plan it back. After interview preparation, you prepare for the mains and then for the preliminary. And the milestones in your preparation should be very, very realistic. They should not be unrealistic. You can course correct in between. If you are taking one particular chapter in your subject is taking, you think it takes 3 days to complete. Maybe you are taking 5 days. You can course correct. You can reduce time from other subjects, from other topics. But plan should be very achievable and realistic. That is the first point. Don't plan for 16 hours, 20 hours. No, I never studied for 16 hours. Max I studied was for 12 hours, but focused, did nothing else. I slept well, 8 hours, 9 hours I slept. But those 12 hours, you have to be really focused. And take a weekly off. Once a week, take a break from the studies. Watch a good movie, whatever you enjoy. You enjoy football, play football. Spend time with your parents. Take a break. That's very important to make your mind very elastic. Just like when you go to a gym, you have to take a break for your muscles to relax. It's the same with the brain. And you must reward your brain. Every achievement, small tests, if you are writing a test and if you are getting good marks in the test, you must reward yourself with a movie or some chocolate or something, whatever you like. This is how you encourage yourself to achieve small, small milestones. Nextly, I would say, when you are planning, include at least 2 revisions in the plan. One completion is not enough. Minimum 2 revisions is a must. And preferably a 3rd revision, a quick revision before the exams, whether it is prelims or mains, even interview. Another thing is group study. You must have a group of aspirants. You must study together. If you have a common subject, that's even better, because we can reduce the time taken for one single individual to prepare all the topics. We used to prepare as a group. Most of us got selected, and you don't have to be competitive in group studies and group discussions. Ultimately, who gets selected from the whole country, who nobody knows. That's why you have to be really, really cooperative and study together and share knowledge. What we used to do was a group of 5 of us. Each of us will take one topic each, take 1 hour for study. Let us say I'm giving a small topic example, and then the next 1 hour we'll discuss. One of us will brief the other 4 in 10 minutes. What is the topic about? And if a question, 2 marks question comes, how we should write. If a 5 marks question comes, how we should write. If a 10 mark question comes, how we should write. Because ultimately, unless you gauge your answer, unless you graduate your, unless you prepare how to write a particular answer for a particular kind of marks, you cannot write a 10-mark answer for a 2-mark question. You will lose both time and marks. On the same topic, the question can be for 2 marks, 5 marks, 10 marks, or 20 marks even. I don't know the present pattern. And you must prepare for those particular marks. And you must prepare, keep on writing. It is an intense exercise, physically draining, because your hand becomes so tired. I mean, it's like you have to do some exercises in between. You must write so much. Only then can you actually write on the day of the exam. I'm talking about mains, not prelims. Mains is an intensively physically draining exercise unless you practice. If you have been practicing every day, all this 1 year, then it's a cakewalk. You can easily write 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening for nearly 1 week, 10 days. So you must prepare your mind, you must prepare your body to attempt such an exam. It tests. Secondly, in the group discussions, you must also attempt to write the answers and correct each other's answers. For the same set of questions, each of you write the answer, all 5 of you, let us say it's a group of 5 or 6. Write the answer together, correct each other's answers, and learn from each other how to express that particular thing well, and which points you had missed, which points you could contribute to the answer. Because ultimately, you please remember three main things in writing any answer, whether it is interview or mains. Civil services test you on three things. First is your clarity of thought. Clarity of thought is that your conceptual clarity on that particular topic. Secondly is your power of expression of the thought. How well you are writing or how well you are expressing that in the interview. Mainly, I would focus on mains written expression. It has to be very cogent, it has to be brief, and it has to be to the point, nothing extraneous, relevant. What is being asked, you must write that only. If they say analyze, you must analyze. If they say enumerate, you must enumerate. If they say illustrate, you must only illustrate, not analyze. You must know the difference between these keywords in a question. The third main point I would like you to remember is, first was clarity of thought, second was power of expression, third was the application of it. Any particular idea, what is the practical use of that idea, that application? If these three things reflect in any of your answers, you will be selected. That's what a civil servant needs in his daily work. Whatever you're doing, you need that clarity, and you should know how to brief your people, how to express your thoughts, your instructions, and how to get it implemented practically. And you should know the practical limitations also. That's what civil services tests in you. These being the major points. Another thing in group discussion is, some people based on their personality may like to prepare solitarily also. Nothing prevents, that's not a problem. Some people prefer to prepare individually. They don't feel like discussing or talking, they're not comfortable. It's okay, you do it, but go to your teacher and share your answers regularly, discuss your answers, get that improvement done on a daily basis. Every answer has to be read by a teacher, because while we are students who have just graduated or have done their post graduation, our expression in university answer sheets is very, very different from what is expected in a civil service exam. The expression is completely different for the same concept. University exams basically do not test your application part of the concept. Civil services test that, whether it is current affairs, whether it is your subject. So that's the main difference. You should practically, you should know all the past papers. You should have gone through the questions. What are the patterns of asking questions on a particular topic? And you should practice those answers time and again. You should keep on refining your answers, show each other in your group and to your teacher. And if there is a discussion in the academy, you discuss that, you try to get as much clarity as possible in those answers. Even preliminary mock exams, you must attempt as many as possible, whether it is subject-wise, topic-wise exams, as many as possible. And try to achieve very, very good marks in your mock exams. Because if you are trying to be the best in the coaching institute or academy, wherever you are studying, it is very, very likely that you will be the best in the country also, because it's a very, very representative sample you are looking at, because all the subjects are there, all the profiles are there. So try to achieve the best marks in your class. Don't be competitive. I never got the best marks in my class, but I always try to get the best marks. Once or twice I got the best marks. So try to do that. And don't ever just try write mock exams just for the sake of writing them. Prepare to that particular exam as if you are preparing for the main civil service exam. Attempt it very sincerely. After the exam, the most important exercise is after the exam. You evaluate each answer, how you actually mark that particular answer. What was your thought process when you were answering like that? I'm talking about prelims. And listen to the teacher. What is he or she telling you? How you should have processed that question? Because this would not be the exact question you'll be getting, but the way you are processing a question is more important. You must learn that. So the more you do mock exams, the better.